Hey, brother, don't limit yourself. Don't allow your mind, don't allow your mental space to hold you right where you are. You're capable of so much more than that. Whatever beliefs you may hold about yourself, whatever you repeat over and over and over again in your own mind, in your own head, or even out loud. How do you talk about yourself to other people? How do you phrase things when you're speaking to others? Speaking about the job you're working, speaking about the relationship you have, speaking about whatever, your hobbies, your passion. How do you talk about those things? Are you talking about those things in a positive way? Do you talk about yourself in a positive way? Do you talk to yourself in your own head in a positive way? Or are you negative? Are you degrading? Do you sell yourself short? Do you make yourself seem not nearly as valuable as you truly are? Or whatever we repeat over and over and over again, that's what we're going to end up with. If you constantly tell yourself that you can't do certain things, you could never be the boss. You could never be in the role that you want. You want it, but you're never going to be good enough for it. For whatever reason that you do tell yourself those things, then you're never going to be good enough. You're never going to reach that level because you're never going to even allow yourself to put in that extra work. You've already defeated yourself. And so therefore, in your own mind, it doesn't even make sense to try and put in that extra work. It doesn't even make sense to try out these new things and to elevate to new levels because you've already convinced yourself that it's not going to happen. It's not going to work out for you. You're not cut out for it. But if you talk to yourself in a way where you're telling yourself, hey, you did good work today and you do good work every day and you always try your best and there's always room to improve and I'm working hard, but I can work even harder and I can work more efficiently. I can be even more focused. I can really lock in on this thing and who knows? And it seems like such a little thing. And oftentimes, when people hear this type of talk and somebody tells them that they just need to reframe their mentality, their mindset, they just need to either refresh that and they just need to believe in themselves. It's like, well, that's easy for you to say. Look at you, big man. You got the dream job. You got the car. You got the house. You got the wife, the family. And, those things may be true. But think about it for a second. Why is it that it's, for the most part, very successful people that have already climbed to the top, people that already have all these things that are telling other people, they're preaching to people who are in worse off positions than them, with really bad mindsets, with a scarcity mindset, with a poverty mindset, with a victim mindset, with all these negative mindsets, all these negative things that they've drawn up about themselves already ahead of time, these conclusions that they've drawn on themselves that are true because, well, we make them true. We live them out every day. We tell ourselves that we suck. We tell ourselves that we can never do anything meaningful. We tell ourselves all kinds of nasty, negative crap that just fills our brain. I mean, think about it. If you're just constantly repeating negative stuff in your head all day, it's going to be that way. Like, there's no space for positive to be. The snowball effect works in both ways. It can work positively and we can build positive momentum, but it also works in a negative way too. And we can build negative momentum and see ourselves fall further and further and further and further until we're at a point where it's just mental torture and mental imprisonment. And we've gotten to a point where we're so far away from anything positive, really. Even, there's people out there and I interact with them on a pretty much daily basis. Not necessarily the same people. It's just the majority of people really do live in such a negative world because it's become so normalized. And nobody talks about the fact that, hey, the reason everything seems so bad and everything seems so awful and hopeless is because that's all you're allowing in your mind. There are people out there who, the second they hear anything slightly positive, they immediately shut it down and dismiss it as bullshit. Like, they truly don't believe that there can really be anything good, at least not for them. And once again, that couldn't be further from the truth. But there again, if all you ever allow to occupy your mental is negative thoughts, negative beliefs, negative everything, that's all that's ever going to be there. Now, I don't know your exact situation. I don't know how far down the line you are into a negative mental space, but I can tell you that I was pretty far down that road at one point. I was getting excessively drunk 3, usually 4 days a week at one point when I was at college. And luckily, I had already kind of established the habit and the routine of working out, going to the gym, consistently 4 or 5 days a week. And through that negative time period in my life where, I just thought nothing good could ever come, nothing good was gonna happen. And, I was at a point where I felt kind of hopeless because I didn't see a path where I was even gonna use the 4-year degree that I had was paying and continuing to pay a good amount of money for. I didn't really think that I was ever gonna find a job that I was gonna use that in. And fast forward to today, now I'm in a management position at a gym, and my degree is in sports management. So everything does tend to work out, brothers. I don't have the exact answer for you to start breaking through, but it does start with small actions. I can tell you for a fact that if you've been inactive, if you've been pretty sedentary for a long period of time, even if you've only been out of the habit of exercising regularly for a month or two, maybe it's been a year or two, maybe you've never really had a regular exercise routine. I know for a fact that a lot of people, if they don't get into some type of sport when they're in school, and I know it's not for everybody. I know not everybody's interested in competing and whatnot, but just objectively speaking, it's not as common for people to understand the importance of regular physical activity if they aren't in a sport growing up or multiple sports growing up. But I digress. A good starting point to try and fix that mental block you have, a good starting point is to establish some sort of regular physical activity. And you can start small. You can start with an at-home workout with body weight stuff. We're talking push-ups, planks, sit-ups, stuff like that. Squats, body weight squats. If you take it seriously, body weight exercises, especially at the beginning, are extremely, extremely beneficial. They're always beneficial. You can start by going for a walk. Go for a walk every day. Start with 5 minutes. Start with 10 minutes. Step it up. Push yourself. Get out of your comfort zone a little bit. Make yourself sweat. Make yourself sore. Wake up and feel sore. Feel that, because guess what? That's real. All this stuff that's in your mind, all these negative thoughts in your mind that you deal with constantly day in and day out, that stuff is just imaginary. That stuff's made up. You might be thinking about past situations that have occurred and thinking about different things you could have said in an argument, or how somebody disrespected you, how somebody screwed you over. It's all in the past, man. You can't change it. And guess what? Those people aren't going to come back and apologize. And even if they did, that's still not really going to fix anything at the end of the day. You need to understand that we just need to move on. We need to use these past experiences as ways to grow. We need to move on. We need to focus on the present moment, because the present moment is all we truly ever have. The past is the past. It's gone. We can't go back. We can't change it. And the future, well, the future hasn't happened yet. And the only way to actually shape the future into something we want it to be is to focus on our present moment, focus on what we can do right now to improve our life. The small actions we take today, we're not necessarily going to notice the differences, the improvements, the benefit, even a week or two down the road. If we can just commit to being a little bit healthier, a little bit more proactive about things. Don't go to sleep with a mess. Take care of those dishes. Wipe the counters. Wipe the table off. If you go to bed with a clean space, that just is another layer to help clear out your mind. We can play the blame game our whole lives. Pay attention to how people talk. When people talk about things that have gone wrong in the past, reasons for why they went wrong at certain points in life, why they are the way they are, however you want to phrase it, however they phrase it. Do they cast the blame on family, friends, parents, exes? Are they saying, I am this way because this person did X, Y, Z? It's okay to acknowledge the fact that people have done us wrong, things that have negatively affected our lives. The fact of the matter is, there's evil in this world. People will say and do terrible things to others just because they want other people to feel the pain and misery that they feel. So it's perfectly fine to acknowledge the fact that, hey, there's people that have done me wrong and screwed me up a little bit along the way. But, at the same time, like I said earlier, they're not coming back to say sorry. They're not coming back to pick up the pieces and put you back together. You need to do that. You're responsible for it. And the fact of the matter is, you don't have to, but I implore you to do that work. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Yeah, it's not the most fun thing to do in the world, to be honest with yourself and say, all right, here's where I'm messed up. Here's what's going on with me, and how do I go about fixing this? And understand, too, it's not just an immediate thing. It's not just going to happen overnight. One thing is certain. There's no guarantee either that, when you start diving into these things, that you're ever going to be able to fully figure out how to get back to normal, to baseline. But there is one guarantee, and that's if you keep running away from all these things and you keep ignoring them and you keep trying to push them off, or you keep casting the blame onto others, you will just continue to live in the same negative space that has been, quite honestly, ruining your life, ruining your ability to be in the present moment and to make positive change for yourself. And you'll continue to be there if we just continue to run away from these issues that we have and these past wrongdoings of others, and we refuse to take a little bit of responsibility and take action into correcting them. We're just going to stay the same, and what would you rather do? Would you rather wake up 5-10 years from now and everything's the exact same, except you're just a little bit older, a little bit more miserable, a little bit more rotten on the inside, and a little bit more angry and pessimistic towards the world? Or do you want to wake up 5-10 years from now and maybe there's still things that you're working on, maybe there's still a lot of work to be done, but you have made improvements, you have made changes, you have made realizations, you have changed up habits, you've replaced unhealthy habits with healthy habits, you're improving your life, things are starting to turn around, opportunities are starting to present themselves. Doors that were once securely locked shut are now wide open and just waiting for you to walk through. I know which one I would rather be my reality. That's why I've begun to reflect back on past experiences. And yeah, certain people did play a part, but they're not coming back to fix me. They're not coming back. They're not going to come back and say, I'm sorry for how I treated you. Even if they did, an apology could spark you to make change, but really it's not going to. I can almost guarantee that if the person or people that you are waiting on to come back and apologize and say they messed you up and they screwed you up, however, in what way, if they came back right now, if right after you finished watching this video, that person called you and genuinely apologized, I have a feeling that would just stir up even more bitterness and resentment in your heart because you still blame them. And so therefore, why would an apology really even make a difference? Forgiveness isn't to let the other person off the hook. Forgiveness isn't to make the other person feel better about the wrongdoings that they've committed. Forgiveness is for you. Forgiving other people is coming to terms, coming to peace with what they've done, whatever it is, and clearing them out completely from your mental space. And there we go. As soon as you're able to forgive that person, you don't even need to call them up and say, hey, I forgive you for the things you've done. Right now, you can say, you know what? All is forgiven. I'm still messed up. I still got things to work on, but all is forgiven. And it's my responsibility to work on those things and to fix those things. If I want to improve, if I want to truly live the life that I say I want to live, if I truly want to do the things that I say I want to do, I need to do this work. I need to work on myself. I need to figure out how to get over these things. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but the alternative is much worse. The alternative is continuing on the exact way that you've been continuing on for years and years and years. So I would implore you to change. I would implore you to take responsibility for those things. Again, I don't know your situation. I don't know what you've been through in life. I don't know the severity, the extent to which others have negatively impacted your life. And again, I'm not trying to say that other people can't mess you up, can't screw you up. The devil is tricky. The devil is very, very sneaky. The devil doesn't come with horns and with outright evil intentions. The devil comes with a smile, a friendly face. If you're a young man out there, I'm gonna just be honest. If you're getting into a relationship, or if you're thinking about getting into a relationship with a woman, and she doesn't have a healthy fear of the Lord, I would highly advise you to not continue to entertain that relationship. I would highly advise you to, cut ties and say, wish you the best, but this isn't going to work out. And just focus on yourself, brothers. Especially too, if you have a healthy fear of God, if you believe in God, if you know for a fact that the Lord is our Savior, and you believe in the sacrifice that Jesus Christ made for us, and you believe the good news that comes along with that, I urge you to not get into a relationship with somebody who does not. And that goes for women too. If you're talking to a man and he does not have a healthy fear of the Lord, don't entertain it. More than likely, nothing but bad is going to come from that. A lot of people like to say, oh, I can change them though, I can fix them, I can help them. It's very, very, very hard to battle the devil when the devil has full control over a person. I'd go as far to say it's impossible. That person needs to be influenced by God on their own time, on their own accord. They need to have some sort of experience that brings that out of them, that brings that truth to light right in front of their eyes. Whatever your struggle is, whatever has happened in your past, whoever's done you wrong, parents, friends, family, exes, whoever's done you wrong, whatever's happened to you in your life. Again, other people can be a part of that. Other people can be responsible for things that have happened to you, but they are not coming back to fix it. They're not responsible to come back and fix it. We allowed them to affect us in that way. So we must allow ourselves to forgive, and we must give ourselves permission to get over things. It's so easy to live in a negative mindset. It's so easy to just allow these things to stay in our mind and continue to derail our progress and drag us down and keep us down. Because guess what? It's much easier to be down. It's really hard to get up every single day, no matter your situation, and work hard to try and improve that situation. When you start, you might be working your ass off for months without seeing any real progress, but you just have to trust and understand that, you know, that momentum is building. Progress isn't linear. You know, everyone expects to see progress at the same rate with the same amount of work, but the fact of the matter is you can put in tons of effort for months on end and not really see anything, but you keep going and keep going and keep going, and after a few more months, all of a sudden, boom, there's just a massive jump out of nowhere. But that's the thing, is you got to keep going, because you could stop 1 or 2 days short of that big leap, that big jump, that big breakthrough, and you never know. I urge you all to be nice to yourselves. I urge you all to reflect. I urge you all to try and do that shadow work, try and work through past events that you say have messed you up and screwed you up. I urge you to try and forgive people from the past who have done you wrong, led you astray, and I urge you to take that responsibility. Take responsibility over your own life. Take responsibility over your own mental state. Take responsibility over your own physical state. Take responsibility. Just be responsible for yourself. You know, if you're watching this video, especially if you're still listening to this point, I have to believe that you want to change, that you understand that there is more to life, that you just need to figure out how to unlock it. I'm telling you how to unlock it. Take responsibility. Start taking those small steps today. Start praying in the morning. If you're not so religious, if you're not so sure, you know, maybe you've had a bitter experience, bitter taste in your mouth still from something that's happened in the past, write down what you're grateful for. Do you sleep in a bed every night? Do you have a roof over your head? You're not on the streets? You have food? You have your daily bread? You know, there's things that we can always be grateful for, no matter your situation. Even if you don't have some of those things, you know, did you wake up today? Are you breathing? Do you still have an opportunity to change your life? Let's take responsibility for our own. Thanks for checking this one out, guys. I truly appreciate it. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.